Are you aware of the simplified method for home office deduction? This is a question every small business owner should be asking. It's all about making your tax life a little easier. Introduced in Revenue Procedure 2013, the simplified method for home office deduction is a less complex alternative to the standard method. It's specifically designed to reduce the burden on small business owners like you. This method, which can be elected for taxable years starting from January 1st, 2013, involves a straightforward calculation. You simply multiply the allowable square footage of your home office up to 300 square feet by a prescribed rate. This deduction replaces the need for actual expense deductions. However, keep in mind that once you choose a method for a taxable year, it's set in stone. You can't change it midway. But don't worry, if you find this method isn't for you, you can always switch back to the standard method in subsequent years. The simplified method for home office deduction can be a game changer for small business owners. Let's delve deeper into how it works. So, how exactly does the simplified method for home office deduction work? Well, let's break it down. The simplified method, as the name suggests, is designed to make your life easier by reducing the complexity of calculating deductible expenses for a qualified business use of your home. Imagine you have a home office and you're trying to figure out your deductible expenses. Traditionally, you'd have to keep track of all your actual expenses, which can be a real headache. But with the simplified method, you don't have to worry about that. Instead, you calculate your deduction by multiplying the allowable square footage of your home office by a prescribed rate. Here's how it works. The IRS allows you to consider up to 300 square feet of your home for business use. So, if you have a home office that's 200 square feet, for example, you'd use that figure for your calculation. Then, you multiply that square footage by a prescribed rate. This rate is set by the IRS, and it's designed to approximate the amount you'd likely spend on your home office expenses. So, what's the catch? Well, the deduction you calculate using the simplified method is in lieu of actual expense deductions. In other words, you can't claim specific expenses for your home office if you use the simplified method. Instead, you're taking a standard deduction based on the size of your home office. One more thing to note is that this method is an election. That means once you choose the simplified method for a taxable year, you're committed to it for that year. You can't switch back to the standard method halfway through the year. So, in a nutshell, the simplified method for home office deduction involves a simple calculation: allowable square footage times a prescribed rate. It's a straightforward, hassle-free way to calculate your home office deduction. Remember, once you choose a method for a taxable year, it's set in stone. It cannot be changed. It's important to note that the simplified method has some limitations and exceptions. First off, there's the gross income limitation. This means that your home office deduction can't exceed your business's gross income. If it does, you can't carry over the excess to the next tax year. It's a use it or lose it deal, so to speak. Another key point to remember is the nature of deductible expenses. Under the simplified method, you're not able to deduct depreciation and Internal Revenue Code. Section 179 expenses for the portion of your home used for business. These deductions are only available if you choose the standard method. Also, once you've chosen a method for a taxable year, you're locked in. No switching halfway through, unfortunately. So, you really need to think about your business's needs and financial situation before making a decision. Despite these limitations, the simplified method can still be a great tool for many small business owners. Let's summarize the key points about the simplified method for home office deduction. This method was introduced as a less complex alternative for calculating deductible expenses for a qualified business use of a home. It's an option that can greatly reduce the burden on small business owners. It involves a straightforward formula, multiplying the allowable square footage of your home office by a prescribed rate. Remember though, Once you choose this method for a taxable year, you can't switch back. The maximum space you can claim is 300 square feet, and the deduction replaces actual expense deductions. There's also a gross income limitation in place, and any excess can't be carried forward. And keep in mind, under this method, you can't deduct depreciation or IRC Section 179 expenses for the part of your home used for business. It's crucial to weigh these factors and determine if the simplified method is the best fit for your business situation. The simplified method for home office deduction can be a powerful tool in your tax strategy. It's worth considering if it's right for your business.